Hi, anime has long since gone beyond just screens and manga. Today, it's a full-fledged cultural phenomenon that's thriving in the world of video games. From cinematic action titles and deep JRPGs to visual novels with thousands of lines of dialogue and even hardcore Souls-like slashers. In this video, I've put together a list of the 20 best anime-inspired games from the past 5 years, titles that have impressed not just anime fans but also lovers of great games in general. AI Limit, a Souls-like action game that stands out from others in the genre thanks to one key feature. It has no stamina system. That means players aren't limited in how many times they can attack, dodge, or parry. This freedom encourages a more aggressive combat style but doesn't make the game a walk in the park, thanks to challenging, fast-attacking enemies, especially bosses. The protagonist can freely switch weapons on the fly, blending quick blade strikes with heavy spear or railgun attacks. Each weapon has unique moves, and her abilities are tied to her mechanical arm. AI Limit offers RPG elements, gear customization, and a stylish post-apocalyptic aesthetic where undead creatures and ruined cities hide the remains of a fallen civilization. While it may not have cutting-edge graphics, it runs smoothly and delivers solid gameplay for fans of the genre. Mad Island. At first glance, this looks like an isometric survival game in anime style, where two main characters, a guy and a girl, crash land on a boat and find themselves on an island full of cannibals, mutants, and strange personalities. You can switch between the two at any time, and to complete the full story, you'll need to play both. Some quests are character-specific. The game features leveling up, and both characters must be upgraded separately. It also has a pretty advanced crafting system, letting you create all sorts of interesting tools, though I won't spoil what they do. Discovering that is part of the fun. Fans of Lona RPG will find familiar themes here, but the developers have expanded on them significantly. The game is currently in early access, and updates are infrequent, but it already shows a lot of potential. If the developer sticks with it, this could become one of the top titles in its genre. Strinova, a free-to-play third-person anime shooter that blends ideas from Apex Legends and Overwatch. With a unique twist, a 2D dimension-shifting mechanic. Characters can flatten themselves into a paper-like projection to glide along walls or dodge bullets. There are plenty of heroes to choose from, each with their own ultimate, passive, active skills and weapons. Characters fall into 5 roles, allowing for well-balanced team compositions. Matches play out across several PvP modes, and player progression unlocks new characters and gear. The game rewards skillful, active play and features crafting, account progression, profile customization, and in-game events. Monetization is purely cosmetic. Atelier Yumia, the Alchemist of Memories and the Envisioned Land. The latest entry in the series ditches many long-standing mechanics in favor of a complete gameplay overhaul. Instead of the usual cozy atelier and slow-paced alchemy life in a single town, you're taken on an epic journey through a world ravaged by a catastrophe triggered by alchemy itself. The heroine is one of the few still permitted to use magic in an era where practicing alchemy is punishable by death. Her journey takes her through the ruins of a once great empire destroyed by its own misuse of alchemy. Now under military supervision, she explores what's left of that world to restore lost knowledge. Exploration is at the core of the gameplay. The traditional cauldron is replaced with a modular synthesis system. Players can build bases, create new structures, explore regions, solve puzzles, gather resources without needing tools, and restore mana at designated zones. Combat has also evolved, now featuring dynamic movement during battles, dodging enemy attacks, and mixing melee and ranged combat. Metaphor ReFantazio, a fantasy JRPG from the creators of Persona, where you journey through a dying kingdom in hopes of becoming its next ruler. Many elements carry over from Persona 5, social bonding, daily scheduling, a calendar-based system, and a save room located in a dungeon. But instead of school life, you'll embark on a perilous adventure, and instead of social links, you'll complete character-driven quests that unlock new progression options. At the heart of the story is a royal selection ritual, where every player decision shapes the outcome and the protagonist's personal growth. Gameplay blends tactical turn-based combat with real-time enemy engagements. The traditional class system is replaced by archetypes, allowing for flexible builds and playstyle changes. Exploration and time management are key. Every action takes place within limited time windows, making strategic planning essential. Sandland, an action RPG based on Akira Toriyama's manga. Sandland takes players on an adventure through a post-apocalyptic desert where heroes journey in search of water. The main character, the Demon Prince, travels across vast sandy landscapes with a ragtag team, battling enemies and piloting a variety of vehicles. The story is simple, with eco-friendly undertones, but told in the spirit of a charming, classic anime tale. Despite the use of archetypal characters and a nostalgic vibe, the narrative remains shallow and serves mostly as a backdrop. The main focus is on customizing and using combat vehicles, each with unique abilities, though they're often restricted to specific, scripted moments. Dragon Ball: Sparking. The legendary Budokai Tenkaichi series returns after nearly 2 decades, and it feels like a blast from the past, full of insane speed, solid balance, and a heavy focus on visual flair. Fights take place in massive arenas with full movement freedom, allowing players to battle on the ground and in the air using energy blasts, teleports, and transformations. With over 180 characters, each with unique moves and transformation trees, the game delivers visually rich and diverse combat. Custom battle modes and a story with alternate outcomes add depth, though the barrier to entry can be steep. Online play is stable. Despite a few outdated elements, it's a celebration for longtime fans. Afterimage. A classic-style Metroidvania, Afterimage offers a beautifully hand-drawn fantasy world, but brings little innovation. The story unfolds with long pauses, and most of the narrative is told through notes and environmental descriptions that focus on localized tales rather than a cohesive, overarching plot. The usual Metroidvania staples are here: dash, double jump, wall slide, teleport points. Combat tries to go deeper with multiple weapon types and upgrade systems, but most improvements feel insignificant. Platforming is basic, puzzles are rare, and level design begins to feel repetitive quickly. The standout feature is the game's gorgeous visuals. The backgrounds, environments, and sprites are crafted with heart and impressive attention to detail. Windblown, a co-op action roguelike from the creators of Dead Cells. Windblown puts you in control of an adorable yet deadly hero diving into a chaotic vortex full of enemies, loot, and mysterious biomes. Each run is built around assembling a loadout of 2 weapon types, active skills, and passive bonuses, with constant returns to a hub island for upgrades and new attempts. Combat emphasizes responsive dodging, powerful alter attacks, and cinematic finishers. The difficulty is high. A single boss hit can wipe out most of your health, but the sense of progression and the drive to try again are strong. Despite modest content at launch, Windblown already feels like a rock-solid foundation for one of the best roguelikes in recent years. It's especially fun in co-op. The chaos really ramps up with friends. The first Berserker, Khazan. Set in the prequel timeline of Dungeon Fighter Online, Khazan tells a grim and bloody tale of the fall of a legendary general who was betrayed and transformed into a possessed Berserker. Visually, the game blends realistic textures with cel-shaded stylization, creating striking scenes, especially in its catastrophically dark biomes. While simple, the story propels you forward, revealing new enemies and pieces of the world. Gameplay-wise, it's a traditional Soulslike with hints of Nioh. Players traverse linear levels, gather experience, upgrade stats, and master new skills. There are 3 weapon types with separate upgrade paths and a focus on stamina management. Boss battles are a highlight, unique and impressive, but often overly tanky, turning fights into endurance tests. Even with summoned allies, victory is hard-earned, and easy mode disables achievements. Infinity Nikki is a new cozy open-world game with a co-op mode. It's completely free to play, and all content can be accessed without spending money. The developers monetize through a gacha system, but instead of collecting full characters, players collect outfit pieces for their main character. Each outfit consists of multiple parts, each with its own rarity, making it quite a challenge to collect full sets. While you can mix and match individual pieces, full outfits come with unique abilities, which means you'll often have to change clothes depending on the task, like brushing animals, for example. The core gameplay revolves around exploring a vibrant world while progressing through a decent storyline. Players will solve puzzles, find useful items and treasure chests containing crafting materials or clothing. Some chests are guarded by monsters. Combat is extremely simple and poses no real challenge. You just spam magic attacks, as there are no weapons. The game is incredibly cute, encouraging players to take photos and pet various animals. Visually, Infinity Nikki is one of the most stunning anime-style games out there, colorful, detailed, and rich with charm. From my experience, the game runs smoothly on PC, fast loading times, and solid optimization. The only issue I encountered was during the first launch. Everything ran fine afterward. As of this writing, Infinity Nikki has mixed reviews on Steam. From what I can tell, that's mostly due to a lack of content and a slow update schedule from the developers. I wouldn't recommend it to everyone, but fans of open-world exploration and cozy aesthetics will likely enjoy it. It's basically Genshin Impact with the action stripped away. Romancing Saga 2. This is a remake of a classic JRPG built around a unique generational mechanic. The story takes place in the Varenis Empire, where each time the emperor dies, they reincarnate into a new ruler, continuing the fight against 7 twisted heroes of the past. The narrative unfolds non-linearly, told through individual episodes that each explore different regions and the fates of their inhabitants. Player choices affect the storyline and available quests, while restoring territories after defeating bosses gives a strong sense of progress and a living world. The gameplay centers on a deep tactical combat system, featuring dozens of classes, strategic formations, and the Glimmer system, where characters randomly learn new abilities during battle. The turn-based combat emphasizes smart team building and exploiting enemy weaknesses. Progress and learned abilities carry over between generations, creating a powerful sense of legacy. Chrono Ark is a blend of roguelike and JRPG, where you venture into a mysterious virtual world swallowed by darkness. At the heart of the story is a child of prophecy, destined to activate the clock tower aboard the Ark and save the remnants of humanity. The narrative unfolds both within a time loop and through scattered fragments of memory and the lives of other survivors. The developers cleverly integrated character deaths and restarts into the story structure itself, making each failure feel like part of the plot rather than a true game over. The world is full of secrets, riddles, and philosophical undertones that unfold slowly but with atmosphere. With over 20 characters, each with unique playstyles and abilities, the game allows for countless strategic combinations and synergies. Battles can feel overwhelming at first due to the complex interface and mechanics, but they reward patient players with depth and tactical variety. Randomly generated levels, rest camps, and a currency retention system between runs help soften the typical roguelike frustrations. Granblue Fantasy, Relink delivers a vibrant and visually stunning anime-style adventure with a simple yet atmospheric storyline. The plot centers around a mysterious girl who can communicate with primal beings and is kidnapped for dark purposes. Players, taking on the role of Skyfarers, soar between floating islands, battling enemies and uncovering personal stories through character-driven side quests. While the main narrative isn't particularly original, it's elevated by a charismatic cast and occasional emotional high points that leave a lasting impression. Relink's gameplay is a spectacle of combat and flashy effects. Battles feature 4 characters at once, each with unique skills and combat roles. The real-time combat demands both quick reflexes and smart tactics. Players must time chain attacks, unleash powerful ultimate moves, and adapt to formidable boss fights. With a large roster of characters, each with their own fighting style, an in-depth upgrade system, co-op missions, and content-rich combat quests, the game offers plenty of depth for action RPG fans. Visions of Mana begins as a classic fantasy pilgrimage, following a group of young heroes on a journey to save the world, knowing their quest will end in sacrifice. Though it starts predictably, the story evolves into something deeper, confronting tough moral choices. Strong voice acting and a likable cast add emotional weight to the experience. Visually, the game preserves the charm of the series' older titles, creating a world that feels like it came straight out of a magical storybook. Gameplay-wise, Visions of Mana is an arcade-style action RPG featuring a class system based on 8 elemental forces, allowing each character to assume up to 9 combat roles. Despite the variety, the mechanics lack depth, making progression feel somewhat shallow. The open world is beautiful, but beyond the main questline, it doesn't offer much in terms of meaningful activities. Master Detective Archives is a neo-noir detective adventure set in a city sealed off from the outside world, a place where the rain never stops. You play as an amnesiac young man caught up in a series of murders aboard a train full of detectives with supernatural abilities. His ally is a goddess of death who helps him dive into metaphysical mystery labyrinths, where he gathers evidence, fights shadowy entities, and uncovers the truth. The overarching narrative revolves around unraveling a massive conspiracy. Clue hunting plays out like a 3D point-and-click puzzle game, while combat segments are presented as quirky arcade-style minigames. The result is a stylish, offbeat mystery full of surreal twists and bold aesthetics. Now, some games that are coming out this year. Madoka Magica Magia Exedra. Players take on the role of a former magical girl suffering from amnesia. With the help of a mysterious creature, she collects the memories of other magical girls. Familiar characters from the original anime and its spin-offs return, weaving a story focused on memory restoration and the secrets surrounding the protagonist. The gameplay blends visual novel storytelling with turn-based combat. Players build teams of magical girls, each with their own unique abilities, and must use strategic planning to select the right characters and skills for battle. The game launched on mobile in March 2025, with a PC release expected later this year. Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma is the latest entry in the beloved series that combines RPG elements with life simulation. Set in an eastern land inspired by Japanese culture, the game takes place after a catastrophe that caused the disappearance of nature gods and the ruin of the land. Players choose one of 2 protagonists, who receive a special power to purify the world and rebuild shattered villages. The gameplay includes exploring seasonal towns, constructing and managing settlements, building relationships with townsfolk, and engaging in combat using various weapons and even dance-based purification techniques. The game also offers rich romantic storylines and the ability to recruit allies to fight alongside you or help manage village life. Anime-inspired games continue to surprise us, proving they're not just for fans, but serious contenders in the wider gaming industry. We've seen some fantastic releases over the past 5 years, and if we missed your favorite, let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching until the end. The Image Game channel was with you. Have a nice day.